Y'all know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back when the underdog wins. Y'all ain't gonna believe that shit. Let's relive it. So let me give y'all some facts, man, on prison real quick, because a lot of people ain't been. If you've got any significant amount of time, throughout those years, you're gonna hang out with a lot of different people. You might have somebody you're like this with, and they go home. Y'all might be close. He might all of a sudden get shipped. Guys are going to go to the whole administration, the guards. They're going to come in from time to time and switch the buildings up, move people out their cells to other buildings, maybe to another side of the yard. You might kick it with somebody for 2 years, and they get shipped to the other side of the yard, and you don't ever see them again. The time I did, that happened a lot. I get close to somebody, really start rocking with somebody, and just like that, they get shipped, sent to the hole, or relocated to another pod, another building, another part of the pound. That's typical. I found myself at one point in my bid, man. I had a solid circle of dudes, and I always kept, anyone that was around me was solid. Like, it sucks because there's some actually cool dudes in there that you could kick it with on the streets, but because they wouldn't throw their hands or they weren't about, holding it down when it came time to it, you couldn't kick it with them. I had a dude that used to, when I didn't have time to draw, he would draw a lot of my patterns for me with the tattooing, and then he would try to walk the yard with me, and I had to get shitty with dude one day and tell him, look, we do business together, homeboy, but we don't walk the yard together and kick it together. We just don't. You know what I mean? This is strictly money. You're cool and all that, but you can't be walking with me. Goes to show you that you are who you hang with. He was a weaker dude, you know what I mean? Cool dude. Middle suburb white dude. But he wasn't the type of dude that I could kick it with in prison without me having problems. Because people were going to prey on him. People were going to try to get at him. And that was going to bring problems on me because he wouldn't defend himself. And first things first, if you're not going to fight for you and you're not willing to stand up for what's yours, what makes you think I'm going to fight for what's yours? Unless you're an old man or you're disabled, there's no reason that I'm going to step up and fight your battle when you're able to fight your battle. Unless you're my homeboy and you're outnumbered, then I'm in there like swimwear. So I get to a point in my bid, man, where the dudes I'm kicking it with, at this point, it's my homeboy MJ, this dude Chris, it's a Puerto Rican bald-head dude named Q from New York, and then we got a dude named Joey. Joey's actually one of the dudes. He was real close with Casper. Joey kind of sort of put me down with Casper, but him and Casper were pretty close, man. You always find yourself in these situations. I've met people that say they went to prison and they never had no problems. Hey, kudos to you, man. I don't know how the hell you did that. The only way I can see that you do that is you let people get away with shit that you shouldn't let them get away with. That way you ain't got to fight. Me personally, I'm not going to let it slide. I'm just not. I learned at a young age that if you let something small slide, somebody else is going to try something. That's a true thing. Somebody else is going to try something. And then the next thing you know, it's spiraled out of control and you can't control the situation. So it's better to fight and either win or lose right from the gate than not do anything and then have all these different people trying you. So here I am, man. Me, Q, Joey, Chris, MJ. Shit's cool, man. These are my dudes. Similar type dudes, similar minded dudes. Came down to it, they throw hands. They had my back, I had their back. Q was the street dude, the funny dude. Q was always telling jokes, man. He went back to Rochester when he got out. Had his info, I lost it. Damn. If you see this, Q, hit me up, my dude. MJ, if you see this, I've been looking for you. Hit me up. Chris, if you see this, hit me up. Joey, if you see this, hit me up. So, we walk in the yard, man. Just walk in the yard. And Joey has gotten big into, first of all, he's gotten heavily tattooed. And he's not a big dude. Joey's probably 155, 160, 5'8", 5'9". Got good sized pecs on him because he's been working out, doing the push-ups, hitting the weights. You know, he's in good shape. He became religious. Working out becomes almost like an addiction when you're in prison. It's a way to blow off steam. It gives you a program. It gives you something to look forward to every day. That's why so many people work out like that. You know what I mean? It's not just about being fit and survival and being strong and jacked up. It takes you away from what you're doing. It puts your mind somewhere else and allows you to focus on something else aside from what, you know, prison is. So Joey gets on his workout strong. All of us work out. All of us lift weights. We all stay war ready. But for the most part, we're just trying to take ourselves beyond these gates, man, beyond these fences. We're trying to focus on something else. We're out there one day in particular, man, and, you know, we've been walking the yard together, kicking it now for a couple months, and a couple of us were in different pods, which meant the only time we could really kick it was when we were on the yard. Everybody goes to yard together. Like Joey was upstairs. I was downstairs. Q and MJ were downstairs. Chris was upstairs with Joey. As I said, we're on our regular routine. We're working out stuff. Joey gets to arguing, man. And he gets to arguing with the head of the Crips, this big black dude named D. And D was feared. I'd never seen D fight, but I'd seen D open hand. And when I mean open hand, I'm talking about just slap dudes before. Also, with him running the Crips, he had the power to send dudes at dudes. He didn't have to fight. He wanted you handled. He'd send somebody at you. If he didn't like the way you were moving, he'd send somebody at you. D was a shot caller, you know what I mean? He was high ranking. And not shot caller like West Coast. I'm talking about as far as his set goes. He called shots amongst his people. Joey is kind of quiet, man. He kind of chimes in every now and then. Chris is super quiet. Chris really never ever spoke, man. But we knew what he was about. I'd seen what he was about. Joey and D get to arguing one day. Now, mind you what I told you. Joey's maybe 155, 160, 5'8", 5'9". D's a good solid 240, 250. Probably 6 foot even, maybe 6'1" on a good day. They get to arguing over something on the weight pit. And there's a bunch of Crip dudes out there, but they're not really in the weight pit. And the way the weight pit's set up, it is a cage that they lock you in. Like Gladiator. They put you inside a cage, lock it, padlock it on both sides. There's weights everywhere, and you are in there. So if something jumps off, it's going down. There's nowhere to run. There's no guard out there in there with you. You're locked in this cage, and it's almost like a dog fight. You know what I mean? So him and D get into it over who's got the weights next. And we all get to arguing. And I'm like, yo, chill, stop. Because the tower's watching us. The people out there got a tower right there. You know, on the other side, there's 3 fences. And on the outside of the 3rd fence, about 40 yards away, is a big-ass penitentiary tower with a guard up there with an AR watching everything going on the yard. They get to arguing on this over this weight bar, man. And D gets greasy out of his mouth. And Joey just straight looks at him and says, man, fuck you. I'll beat your ass. And I'm thinking, damn, man, what is you doing? You know what I mean? Like, I know what he's doing. I respect what he's doing. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. But, bruh, we rock with you. You just drug us into a pile of shit over some weights. But I'm not going to say nothing like that. I got to stand 10 toes down, you know what I mean? Because that's my homeboy. Whatever comes his way is coming our way. Not to mention Joey's got other people back in the pod he messes with. I got people in the building I rock with. So if it comes to having to get numbers together, we can get numbers together and we can bang out. Him and D are getting ready to go at it right there on the rec yard. Both of them got their shirt off. It's middle of summer. I'm talking July, August, drenched. You know, Joey's got a bald head. D's got a bald head. You see the sweat running off of him, sweat running off the body. Both of them already been working out, so their muscles are flexed, their tone cut up, swole, and they're ready to go. I get in the middle of them like, yo, no, stop. Y'all can't, if y'all want to thump, y'all can thump, but y'all can't do that shit right here. And I said, D, you know you're not about to run with Joey, man. You're going to have your dudes jump on him. He was like, nah. He's like, he said, y'all think I'm pussy or something. I don't need nobody to handle nothing for me, man. He said, what's going to happen when we get back in that building? I'm going to beat that ass. And Joey's like, you ain't said nothing then. When we go inside, we can go to your cell or we can go to my cell. He's like, you a pussy. You know you're not going to come to my cell. You know you're not going to come in that cell because you know when you get in there, I'm going to fuck your ass up in that cell. Joey's like, yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see. Snapping out. Me, Q, MJ, Chris, standing off to the side. We just like, yo, chill, man. Y'all chill. Y'all drawing mad heat. Just stop. If y'all going to rumble, we'll check it out when we get inside the building. You know what I mean? Joey will not give the weight bar up. Even after all this, Joey's still telling him, fuck you, I got the bench next. He's holding the bar. We'll stand here all day until you rock off, then we're going to do what we got to do. You're not taking nothing from me, man. I told you I had this next. I called it. I don't care what set you claim, who you think you are. I got this shit next. I called it. And he's right. Don't back down. You don't. Never surrender, man. Like Khaled said, never surrender, man. It's time to go in. We know. It's one or two things that's going to happen. We about to find out if Joey's really that solid or if Joey's going to bitch up and cop deuces. Meaning, is he going to try to talk his way out of this fight with D? So when we go in, instead of going in my pod, I go ahead and sneak upstairs. I throw my orange beanie on, cover my face up some, you know, pull it down low on my eyes so the guard can't see me. Put my head down when I come to the control booth. And it's like, by now, probably 7, 8 of us. And his Crip homies already, all them dudes already know what time it is. But he's told all of them, stand down. You know what I mean? This is me and Joey gonna rock out in this cell, man. I'm gonna beat this white boy's ass. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. I expected things to be all types of messed up. I thought it was gonna turn into a full-fledged rumble. I thought we was gonna get banked. We was gonna just have to thump it out with as many of these dudes as we could. Just hope for the best results. Hope don't none of your teeth get knocked out. Hope don't nobody introduce a knife into it and poke one of us or, you know, hit us with something inside of a sock. I'm hoping that it just sticks to hands because the worst that can happen is you split my shit, you knock my eye up. Just don't knock my teeth out, you know what I mean? We get upstairs, and by now, the guard that they had in the booth at the time, her name was Miss Mahoney. I got a crazy story for y'all about Miss Mahoney, old cell phone freak. Yeah, she got toe off. So we get up there, and Joey goes to his cell, takes his workout shoes off, pair of Reeboks, puts his state boots on. We're standing out in the middle of the pod, and one of the no-nos you do not do. If you ever get locked up, this is a no-no. If people are going into a cell to fight, you do not go over, stand at that cell, and stare in there. Because you staring in there is going to cause that guard that's looking over at you and everybody else that's looking at that cell, that's going to alert her to the fact that something's going on in that cell. Why are all these guys focused on the cell? Why are all these guys crowded around that cell? Call the SWAT in here. Call the CERT team. Call whatever you want to call it. Call the goon squad in here. Something's going down in that cell. So you stay away from the cell. You don't look. You know what I mean? If you're from a distance, like say you're standing across the pod, you can look. But you don't need 20, 30 people focused on that cell. You let them handle their business. D goes ahead and backs in the cell. Come on, come on. Joey tells him, you ain't said nothing, man. Joey goes in there. They shut the door. We can't see what's going on. We can just hear the shoes. And you know you've done time. You know when you hear that skr, 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 you know it's going down. You know what I mean? Somebody's fading. They're in there. They're rocking out. They're going at it. Then all of a sudden you hear, boom! I mean, like, loud enough that people that didn't really know what was going on heard it. And at that point there, I'm thinking, damn, he just dish-ragged Joey. Sound like he just picked Joey up and just broke the concrete floor with Joey's body, right? It gets quiet. About 10 seconds later, the cell door slides open. Joey pokes his head out, looks around, and comes walking out. I said, yo, he comes over to us. I said, we good? And you know, all these Crip dudes now, they're heading over towards the cell to check on their homeboy. He's like, man, I'll beat the fuck out of D in that cell, man. He said, I'll pick that big motherfucker up. He said, all them shoulders and shit I've been doing, them inclines, declines, yeah. He said, I picked that big motherfucker up, got him vertical, brought him down, slammed him, and ricocheted his head off the side of the fucking toilet bowl, knocked him out cold. I said, what? He was like, I said, bro, I thought he killed you in that cell, man. He was like, nah, man, I fucked D's ass up. Joey's got some scratches, a small cut above his eyebrow where D got him. But for the most part, Joey looks good. D comes on out the cell, right? By now, Miss Mahoney, the guard that's in the booth, is dealing with something on the other side. D comes out to where his Crip homeboys and all them are and walks straight past them. They're like, yo, you good? And he's like, chill. This is like 5-10 minutes past now, right? D done been knocked out and everything. As D's approaching us, I see D is knotted up, man. D's nose is sitting over here. He's got, a couple different cuts. Big knots all over his head, knots on his cheek. He's got a knot on the bottom of his cheek that looks like an apple. I guess, Joey busted one of these glands back here, and that shit looked like an apple sitting off the side of his cheek. He walks up on us, man, walks straight up to Joey and goes, and daps him up. I says, you shocked the fuck out of me, boy. Straight up. Ain't nobody ever rocked me or run with me like that. He said, I'd be proud to have you with us any day. Joey tells him, nah, man, you just can't be disrespecting people, man. I didn't want it to go down like that. D's like, well, we cool, man. We cool. That's what it is. I never in a million years expected. And I don't underestimate anybody because I've seen the smallest dude come out on top and I've seen the biggest dude come out on top. But I'd never seen Joey really thump like that. I'd seen little altercations, but I'd never seen it go down like that. And D had a reputation. He runs a whole organization. He's got to be able to hold his own. What he didn't realize is that while Joey's out there working out, Joey's cock strong. And Joey hits hard. That size, it can matter sometimes, Had D scooped him up like that and slammed him down, it would have been a whole different deal. But just like that, the underdog came out on top. D told the Crip dudes, yo, y'all go over there, dap them boys up. Y'all all make peace, man. Ain't no wreck, ain't no beef behind none of this, man. Everything's good. Everything's, Gucci. Everything's cool, man. So one by one, man, it's almost like when you see a baseball team walking down the line, dapping up, except we wasn't walking down the line. We know who's Crip. They know who we are. And like I said, we had a whole bunch more dudes we brought up there with us. We all walk up, dap up. We all walk up, D, arm around the back, dap up. And just like that, it was over. Joey came out on top. Salute, Joey, man. You held your own. Goes to show you, man. You don't never know what's going to happen. Pick on that small guy if you want to. Call somebody out. And think that your size is what's going to determine the fight. Somebody told me this when I was young, and that's always stuck with me. It ain't the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. And Joey had a lot of fight in him, man. Shout out to Joey. Shout out to all y'all. Any of y'all boys watching my videos, man, please hit me up. JLet'sLiveLife@gmail.com. That's how y'all get in touch with me and to the subs. So I try to leave y'all with something, positive from the negative. And I'm going to leave y'all with this. Pick your battles wisely. Every battle doesn't have to be a war. Every war doesn't have to be a battle. Never underestimate anybody. Treat people like you want to be treated. I always tell y'all that. Don't sleep on nobody. But most importantly, stay out of prison. Keep yourself out of situations to where you have to deal with that. Because say you're 155 pounds and you don't know how to fight and you're not strong and you would have went in that cell. Say you're that guy that used to draw my tattoo patterns that I wouldn't let kick it with me and you'd have went in that cell. You'd have probably got med flighted up off there. Shout out to D for being a stand-up dude, because very seldom do you see it where just one dude acts and they don't all roll. D could have had us smashed out, man. They had the numbers to win. D could have said, y'all handed them boys and never got his hands dirty. And his soldiers would have moved on us just like that. And it would have been a whole different story. But that ain't what happened. But y'all know, man. Just trying to keep you entertained. Are you not entertained? Y'all know how we do, man. This is Jay Williams. Let's Live Life. To all my real ones and the awesome real ones, because y'all watching me. Salute.